say die!
40 going on
14.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to 40 Going on 14, episode 145. I am Mike.
I am Patrick.
I'm Joel.
And I'm Josh, and I'll form the head.
Makes sense.
We're talking about Voltron.
I'll take the head.
Oh, God.
Makes sense.
Should clarify that we're talking about Voltron.
Yes, we definitely are talking about
No, we're
Voltron.
not.
Very
You
quickly.
may be, but I'm not.
And his strangely full lips for a robot. That was...
And I'll
Wow.
give the head.
Dynotherms are connected.
What did Josh just say?
Nothing.
All right. So,
I heard him.
yeah, welcome to episode 145. We are talking about Voltron, seeing the release of Voltron Legendary Warrior on Netflix. Just happened last... Defender. Joel is the resident, got a boner for Voltron guy in this group, so feel free to... well, we're just going to mess with him all night, pretty much.
He's the throbbing pink lion.
Hey, let's just point out Mike made the suggestion for the show.
Throbbing pink lion's got a
I'm
bulge
sorry,
halfway down.
The throbbing pink lion. That's good.
That's awesome. So,
Red rockets are go.
hey, so if you're looking for some red rockets, I bet you could find them at the Podcast Collective.
Yikes. That was worse than one of my awkward transitions.
Yeah.
So I just went with the last word I heard.
Check out the Podcast Collective with such shows as the Bad Parenting Podcast, On the Block, No Hope for Humanity, the Coffin Joe Cast, Joel's own The Sunshine Happy Pants Hour, our show, Dating Baggage, The Internet with Scott the Pool Boy, I Am Salt Lake, Mint in Boxcast, and Tales from the Hard Side.
Yeah, and if you are out hosing down the dog on noon on Saturdays, you can listen to Geek Life Radio, where we will be playing at 12. You can also find our older stuff on iTunes, Blueberry, Stitcher, and TalkShoe. And if you want to talk to us, give us a call at 708-NOW-RAP. That's 708-669-9727.
And of course, you can always reach out to us on Twitter at 40go14 or shoot us an email over at 40go14@gmail.com.
Right. And you know what? We have actually no listener feedback today.
No feedback whatsoever.
So that means it is about that time.
Indeed.
This week in music, movies, and TV.
And Voltron playing sports.
All right, so we're going with September 10th, 1984. That was the release of the American version of Voltron.
I just turned 10 years old 7 days before this.
I thought you were going to say right before the tweet, which is why you said the sports like that.
That was, yes.
It's a reverse puberty. Rare case.
He's Benjamin Buttoning us.
Okay, so music. What's Love Got to Do With It by Tina Turner is the number one song in the land for 3 weeks, but then is knocked off by John Waite's Missing You on September 22nd.
Oh, that song is perfect for proms and homecomings.
Which one, Missing You?
Yeah.
I was going to say the other one might be a little...
I don't like all of Tina Turner's songs, but What's Love Got to Do With It is pretty good.
I like that and We Don't Need Another Hero.
Yep, I'm with you.
She does a great cover of Rollin' on the River.
No. See, there's where you cross the line, man. No, she didn't.
Yeah, I'm actually with Pat on the third one. I'm not a fan of Her Proud Mary.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Damn
No
it.
matter what my friends say.
So, also, this week...
Yeah, it was a Missing You joke.
I heard it.
Yeah. Country singer Barbara
There's a
Mandrell...
lot of Missing You jokes. I'm just, I hate to interrupt you, but I just wanted to point out that's a John Waite's Missing You joke. Because
they're rare.
They don't exist in the wild, yeah.
Yeah.
And now we know why.
So, Barbara Mandrell suffers serious injuries in a head-on automobile collision on a Tennessee highway.
Yikes.
Yeah, she was actually listening to John Waite's Missing You when it happened.
And she wrote a whole album all about it. That's not true.
Yep.
Actually, I think she did.
It might be true.
She at least wrote a song about it. I know that.
Yeah.
When I hear it,
Wasn't
here it
quite as
Here it goes.
exciting as Kickstart My Heart, but she called
Writing credits.
she called him for hints.
Barbara Mandrell.
Nikki Six.
So,
I was joking, riffing on your industries thing, but she sort of did suffer steal there.
ooh. All right, so movies. This week sees the release of the acronym of the week, TBFAP, on September 7th.
That big floppy ass penis.
Oh.
TB Fap.
Wait, is the dash between floppy and ass or ass and penis?
Well, wouldn't you like to know?
I would.
Where the dash is depends on how floppy it is.
This has gone to a weird, weird place.
Oh, and it's
Look at
gonna
this.
get
My
weirder.
floppy ass penis has gone to a floppy ass penis.
So anyway, that is not what that is, though. I'm not saying that
you
movie
sure?
is not.
Are you
I'm
sure?
not saying that movie doesn't exist. I'm just saying it's not the one we're talking about.
That's what I released in 1980.
Oh, wow.
Oh crap! No, that is actually The Brother from Another Planet, which is a story about a mute alien with psychokinetic powers coming off of Ellis Island while being hunted down by other aliens. I've actually seen this movie.
Isn't John Leguizamo on that?
No.
Oh.
No. But the good news, 1984 did have some great film debuts. Val Kilmer in Top Secret came out this year. Johnny Depp in Nightmare on Elm Street. And Jean-Claude Van Damme in Breakin'.
True story.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, he was an extra in Breakin'.
Yep.
He was, you can tell me, they call him in the credits, he's Splits Dude.
Well, he's always been able to dance, as evidenced in his little dance scene in Bloodsport.
He's very obvious in the film, too, if you know where to find him.
Yeah, he's,
Like if you're looking for him.
In Break It, not Bloodsport, because he's definitely
Right.
obvious in Bloodsport.
oh yeah.
He was in Bloodsport?
Yeah, he was the guy who does
He
the
was in-
dance.
He was an
Oh,
extra.
he was Splits dude. That's right.
Yeah.
Dude.
Splits Dude. But TV this week sees the end of such classic shows as Rubik, the Amazing Cube.
I watched that.
It's a cartoon about a living Rubik's Cube that is voiced by Horshack from Welcome Back, Kotter.
There's a Rubik the Amazing Cube. They used to have, just before the new Saturday morning cartoons came out, this primetime show with a preview. And I remember the one from August of 1984. No, it wasn't, because this was the end. So it would have been like 2 years earlier. It would have been August of 1982 where they debuted Rubik's Cube for the first time. And I just it like blew my mind. I was so excited for that show, and I don't know why.
That a Rubik's Cube could talk? That's what blew your mind?
Well, it's not that the Rubik's Cube talk. They put like the face of an old Jewish man on the front of it.
A little blue alien face, and it was
Yeah.
like Rubik the alien. It was kind of a dumb concept for the show, but we'll get back to that.
So they had
Well,
Ron...
Imagine if E.T. was done with a Rubik's Cube instead of E.T.
Ron Palillo, yes.
Yeah, they had Ron Palillo instead of... Because Gilbert Gottfried wasn't around yet? Or what?
Well,
Why?
Jackie Mason was busy. What? You want to fold my corners? You want to turn me? You want to make all the colors the same?
That was actually a really good Jackie Mason. I'm impressed.
They had a whole block.
I want to hear Jackie Mason talk to Elle.
They had a L. What are we doing on this planet? Hey there, Jackie. I don't know. Anyway, they had a whole block of Atari cartoons. They had Pole Position, they had Rubik the Amazing Cube, Cubert, Super Mario Brothers. I mean, they had Pole Position was terrible, but they had a whole.
Were Cubert and Rubik enemies?
No,
Because Rubik like took the Rubik's Cube and splayed it out like a bear rug.
You guys are killing me.
why?
Mario was not Atari; he was Nintendo, and Rubik's
didn't-
Cube wasn't even a video game.
Well, they had like a whole shut up block of cartoons. And
All
they
right.
were
So anyway,
weird.
another terrible.
There was the Saturday morning Starcade, but it didn't have anything to do with Rubik's Cube
Yeah.
or Super Mario Bros.
That had the master, the dude in the red jacket with the light blaster.
It's been a long
Don't
day.
bother me with your facts, Josh.
Shut up.
Space Ace was awesome.
Oh yeah, Space Ace was good.
We're going to talk about
You know what
Tina
else? You know what
Turner
else
soon.
wasn't good? Jennifer Slept Here. It's another show that got canceled this week. It is a lighthearted comedy about a family living with the ghost of a 1960s actress that was killed when an ice cream truck backed over her, and who can only be seen by their teenage son. For some reason, this only lasted a season and a half, 12 episodes.
I'm surprised it lasted that long.
Well, I mean, keep in mind My Mother, the Car, and The Flying Nun were considered acceptable premises for comedies before
That's true.
this.
That's true.
As was
My Mother, the
Casper,
Car was genius. I don't care what you say.
about a dead boy.
And September 10th, 1984, was when the daily syndicated version of Jeopardy debuted. We got your Jeopardy.
Deputy? What's Deputy?
Got your Jeopardy fix on a daily basis after that.
I fucking love Jeopardy. It's one of my favorite television shows.
Yeah?
I've tried to get on it so many times.
Yeah,
Getting,
I think
getting on the show
Good
is
job.
harder than being on the show.
It's a good show.
Thank
What?
you,
You've
Turd.
never been on the show, Bert? I've been on it several times. Come on, let's go now. What do you say, Alec? Can we be on your show? Can I get no for 100?
I was going to say, if you pull out an Alec Trebek impersonation right here, I was going to be very
Ooh,
impressed.
I'm sorry.
I like the Canadian accent. That was good.
So in sports, I'm assuming this is a sport. Joe Kittinger, a former Air Force pilot and human flight record breaker, traveled by helium balloon across the Atlantic Ocean from September 14th to 18th in 1984.
I'll allow it.
He crossed the Atlantic in a balloon in 4
Yeah.
days.
That seems like a sport.
Yeah,
It's sporting at the very least.
yeah.
Makes
So-
more sense than cricket.
Well, speaking of,
Speaking of cricket, Jack Eichen, cricketer, England opener, 1946-1955, dies on September 15th. He played 18 tests from 1946 to 1955, a calm, popular left-hander who also bowled leg spin. Another friggin' phrase that I have no goddamn idea what it means.
wonder how many maidens he got.
See? That's what I'm
See the
talking
asterisks.
about.
Where's the asterisk?
Well, Eichen played most of his cricket for Lancashire.
Nikki, where are you?
He bowled a leg spin with the maidens, and I honest to God think this is like a
I don't think
global
you can-
joke.
I don't think you can get a maiden if you bowl leg spin.
I
I
dare
don't
anyone
know.
to prove
After
us
18
wrong.
tests, you would think so.
Well, I mean, that's enough. If you pass all of them, then probably you can.
Right. Is that Iowa standardizing? What are we talking about?
Holy crap, I looked it up and I still have no idea what it means. A maiden is a delivery bowled without any roars scored off it, so called because it is recorded in the scorebook with a single dot, normally the scoring of 1,000 runs and the taking of 100 wickets in the same season.
You know what
We'll
they
just say
Confusing about that.
You know what they say about that when it happens?
We're on fire!
I think we're just going to say that the maiden is in another castle.
I don't know. Oh God, that's the tweet for you right there. So
Da-da-da-da-da.
Maybe if I knew what delivery was.
Well, it's when
I
someone
want to know what
brings something
bowling
to
leg
your
spin
house.
is.
a
What
bold
does, it mean
leg.
if you, what does it mean if you bowled leg spin?
I don't know.
I choose to believe it's like when a shot putter or a hammer toss spins around on one leg and then releases the ball at the wicket.
All right, here we go. Wait, leg spin. Wikipedia definition. Leg spin is a type of spin bowling in the sport of cricket. A leg spinner bowls right arm with a wrist spin action, causing the ball to spin from right to left in the cricket pitch at the point of delivery.
So it's like a
it's like
curveball?
a yeah. No, I would say
yeah.
it's more like a probably a junk ball or like a screwball. You know, something that's a lot more rare.
It basically whatever would break left right before it gets to the batter.
Pat
Oh,
has
that's
one
more of a
those.
curveball then. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and they usually go anywhere between 45 to 55 miles an hour and have been known to top 60 miles an hour. Now, that doesn't seem fast to us because we have people pitching 95 miles an hour with a baseball, but cricket balls are a little bit heavier and a little bit,
I think it's a
denser,
shorter
I think.
distance, isn't it?
yeah.
Between the pitcher and the...
I don't know.
Sticky
I don't know
wicket?
how long the pitch is.
I got nothing.
I have nothing to
It's
add.
92. It's 92 and 3/4 feet, I think, in baseball.
Well, I'm just going to go with that because there's no way you pulled that number out of your ass.
The dog agrees.
Yeah.
So we're good.
All right, so Voltron did not play cricket.
No.
Probably.
That we know of.
Yeah. We have
I mean,
not.
maybe he did in the original Japanese Beast King Golion, but
Yeah.
He was the Maiden King if he did. I'll tell you that.
No.
So, initially, Voltron was produced as a joint venture between World Events Productions and Toei Animation. Toei actually is, I think, part of the company that does such games as like Nobunaga's Ambition.
Yep.
So
That's correct. And when they say joint venture, what they mean is the guys at World Events Productions smoked a bunch of joints and attempted to translate the Japanese anime
Yeah.
when none of them spoke Japanese.
yeah.
Are they hiring?
Yeah. They don't need to anymore. Now they create brand new cartoons that make sense.
Yeah, so originally this series aired in syndication from September 10th, 84 to November 18th, 1985. I think that speaks volumes for the quality of this show. 84 to 85.
Well, here's the thing: is before we get into the quality, you got to understand where cartoons were at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Through the 1970s to the early 80s, it was strictly prohibited by law to make a cartoon for kids that featured toys they could buy. And then something happened. Ronald Reagan happened, and he appointed a new chairman of the FCC who had no interest in slowing down business. And all of a sudden, at right around like 82, 83, all of these animation studios are like, shit, we can sell toys. And Mattel teamed up with cartoon manufacturers to create He-Man, and all of a sudden you've got this adventure series that is the biggest thing on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's like, crap, we have to do something to capitalize on this, but making cartoons takes a long time.
So they get in touch with Toei Animation, who says, I don't even know what they would say. Obviously,
don't make war for shit.
there was absolutely no real translator involved in any of this. I'm just going to guess.
Yeah,
this.
because the guys at World Events asked the guys at Toei, hey, yeah, just send us the one with the lions. And they got Beast King Golion, which is not actually the one they asked for.
Nope.
But
The one that they wanted actually had the guy he had a lion head on the chest of the robot.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. But yes, they got the one with the 5 lions, and they liked that better. It was adapted from, like Josh said, Beast King Golan. Also, there was a second season. Now, we had talked about this earlier amongst ourselves with the different versions of Voltron, but there was Vehicle Force Voltron, was adapted from a completely unrelated anime called Armored Fleet Daruger 15.
15, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
15 vehicles that all come together to form 3 bigger vehicles that can also form Voltron.
Right. Which was also known as Voltron 1 of the Near universe.
Right. And that apparently there's the Voltron Lion Force is the far universe, because that is the furthest planet away from Earth is where that one happens.
Voltron 3.
Yes. Vehicle Force Voltron is the Voltron of the Near universe, because it's closer. And Voltron of the Middle universe, which you guys thought I was nuts, was Gladiator Voltron, where 3 guys build robots for a school project and then manage to get them to turn into Voltron.
Which was never produced because
it was a cartoon, but it was never actually released type of.
Right. It was planned, and Vehicle Force bombed so hard they were just like, yeah, I think we're getting off this Voltron train.
Yeah. But
the Voltrain.
The Voltron.
Nice.
They had everything planned out, though. I mean, they had set up an entire, mythos so that they could create it, and that they could bring it over and translate it and make it into something.
Right.
Which is what surprised me that Mike had seen it or knew of it, because it never happened. So,
well, we had some, I looked up, got the voices here. We have Jack Angel as King Zarkon. And
come on, let's get Voltron.
And looking at his credits, he's known for the character Additional Voices in many different things. But he also did... God, what did he do?
He was Rubik the Amazing Cube,
voice actor.
Yeah, pretty much. He did voices in Grim Fandango, the remaster version of it. Lots of video game voices. he did some voiceover for the trailer for something called Sex Tax.
Ooh, ouch!
He did that after Toy Story, so that
was the sequel to Sex Staple Gun.
All right, you're kind of done for now.
Sex tax? Come on, you got to think about it differently.
Was that a missing you joke?
If they start taxing that, then we're in trouble.
All right, so Michael Bell did the voice of Lance. That I had, for some reason, Michael Bell's info is not loading on me. There we go. All right, so he is known for doing lots of Transformers voices. He's in the new ones, Devastation and the video game. He does the voices of Sideswipe and Scrapper. He's done voices in World of Warcraft. He's done voices in a show called The LeBrons.
Yeah, if you go back through, he's been doing voice work pretty constantly from the early 80s all the way up till now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, one of the few times you end up seeing him in the flesh is he played a minor character on Dallas.
Okay. Yeah, he was on Duckman. He was on... he was in Star Trek, Deep Space Nine. He's literally like the guy that they call for the voices, so...
Right. Probably best known as the voice in G.I. Joe of Xamot, Duke, and Major Blood.
Oh, I got it better. He in Darkwing Duck, he was Quackerjack.
Well,
he was like
I'm going to go with the G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Aw.
If he were Darkwing Duck himself, I would have given that to you. But come on. Duke and Major Blood?
That's true.
Zartaz.
Who the hell is Zartaz?
Xamot?
Tomac.
Whatever.
Tomax and Xamot?
Yeah.
Yeah, those
I
guys.
don't know why they had different voice actors for Tomax and Xamot.
I know they never should have. That would
kind of weird.
Have the same guy.
This is narrated by Peter Cullen, Optimus
Better
Prime
known as-
himself.
Yes. And Peter Cullen was Optimus Prime, but he also, when they released the vehicle Voltron, he was Koran or Hutch in that series. He was one of the main pilots.
Oh.
In the one on Netflix?
No, on the vehicle Voltron that happened later.
Oh.
Yeah. Keith Neil Ross, another guy, just voices all over the place. Video games, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, Ninja Gaiden, lots and lots of, Crimson Skies, man, I haven't played that in forever. That's a great game. But no, lots of video game, voices, lots of TV voices. He did, the voice of Lieutenant Mitch Kellaway in the Mask cartoon. Also in the Iron Man TV series back in the 94, 96, he did the voice of Fing Fang Foom. Giant dragon.
Yeah, I've just never heard that name.
Yeah,
Fing Fang Foom in the Rin Ram Room. What?
Fing Fang Foom is probably a C or a D-lister if you're not like a super Marvel geek.
Yeah. And, ready guys? He did the voice, he was the narrator in Freddy Farkas, Frontier Pharmacist.
What?
Nice.
It's a great tie-in right there.
Yeah, seriously.
Score.
So,
Nice.
B.J. Ward was Hagar, the witch.
She's probably best known for voice of Velma in a lot of those Scooby-Doo movies in like the early 2000s.
She also did the voice of Scarlet from G.I. Joe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Lenny Weinrib did the voice of Hunk. He been doing voices, going all the way back to the 60s. I think this is the guy that did what's that psychotic kids program when the big head thing wearing the cowboy boots? Yes,
Pee-wee's Playhouse?
HR Puffin stuff.
Oh.
Yes.
I don't remember cowboy boots, so.
Yeah, he wore Puffin stuff, wore cowboy boots. He was HR Puffin stuff.
Wow.
And he wrote all the episodes.
See, when he said big head thing wearing the cowboy boots, I just assumed he meant Lawrence Fishburne.
I thought he was talking about Pat.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's sad.
I don't have boots anymore.
Anymore.
That's the funny thing. Yeah, I come back to Texas and I sell my boots.
Or a children's show, since the restraining order.
Yeah. And he actually he was on an episode of Chips also. As
training orders are just another way of saying I love you.
As HR Puff and stuff.
I love you, but stay away.
I like how Mike just completely ignores that conversation.
No.
I thought he was contributing. It's another way of saying I love you as HR Puff and stuff.
Yes. Yeah, he really hasn't done anything since something called Yo Yogi, a Yogi Bear cartoon
It
from
was an
1990.
urban retelling of Yogi Bear.
Yeah, 1992. Tress McNeil.
Where Yogi Bear is a pit bull instead of a bear.
He lived in Cabrini Green.
Yep.
All right,
That was as far as I was going to go because I didn't, I know I will probably say something inappropriate, believe it or not.
You?
Yeah,
With or without boots?
I censored myself like an adult.
Wow.
Oh. But he's growing up. He's going to leave the nest.
So Queen Merla from this was voiced by Tress McNeil, better known to us as
Simpsons.
Agnes Skinner. Yep. And Dolph. Who's Dolph?
Dolph is the German kid. Don't make me run! I'm full of chocolate!
She was also the voice of Dot in Animaniacs.
Yep.
She's got she's a big name in voice acting.
Oh, yeah.
You look at her voice acting credits, there are 309 of them.
Yeah, she even has Futurama credits in here. And
if I married a woman like that, I would probably make her need therapy because I would make her say things while we're having sex in Dot's voice and stuff like that.
I thought you were going to say in Dorf's voice. Oh, slow down. I'm full of chocolate. Sicko.
Holy crap. Yeah. And Joel, looks like you added some extra stuff. Voltron, Fleet of Doom, 1986.
At least he didn't add the guy who voiced Sven.
No, I never liked Sven. I still don't like Sven.
You don't like Sven?
Yeah. In 1986, they commissioned Toei to actually create a brand new cartoon. They didn't use stock footage where they had the Vehicle Force and the Lion Force team up against the Fleet of Doom, and it was like a 45-minute quote-unquote movie. And I watched it actually for the show, and they don't really get together and do anything until the last 10 minutes.
I don't know why you don't like Sven.
Yeah, the rest of it they're in flight trying to get to the planet to save them from the team up of bad guys before they destroy the planet.
They would have gotten there faster. I am a good pilot. You know what though? On the IMDb, IMDb Wikipedia page, Sven has the biggest bio. There's 3 paragraphs just about Sven. I didn't read them.
Perhaps if his voice acting was better.
No, but Sven also, I think it was Michael Bell did Sven also. He was voiced by another one of the voice actors. So you had basically 3 guys in a room voicing 6 people.
Yeah, I don't know why they made him Norwegian.
Yeah,
he was named Sven. It was inevitable.
There was no point, though. It didn't move the story forward. It actually stunted things and made it more problematic.
I can't believe you're complaining about that voice.
Well, it's Sven's voice when he looks like he's like a student of Bruce Lee, and his original name was Shiro, which they went back to for the reboot, which we'll get to in the second half. But it's just why would you look at this guy that is dressed like a disciple of Bruce Lee and say, yeah, that looks like a Sven?
Because, like you said in the beginning, they got these videos, smoked an amazing amount of drugs, and then went, he looks like a Swedish dude. And, of course, that makes complete sense that he would be Swedish.
And I know where Pat's going with this, because nobody likes Pidge's voice.
No, that was hideous.
Nobody likes Pidge.
How can you possibly complain about Sven when Pitch is there?
That's true.
Pidge, like pigeon.
Pidge, whatever. Fidge, fudge, pudge.
And how can you ever dislike such great dialogue as
We're on fire!
That wasn't Pidge.
Okay, so let's get this out of the way. The original Voltron didn't age well.
I put this on for the girls. I'm like, all right, we're going to watch Voltron. Now, we made the mistake of watching the new one first. Okay, I was like, go put on Voltron for me. I finished up dinner. We're going to go have pizza in the living room. They found Voltron on Netflix first. And I was like, okay, cool. We'll watch this first. Terrible idea, because when we watched the 80s version, I was like, yeah, this is great. This is exactly what I remember Voltron being. This is this cool tigers jumping around, and, Pidge is kind of annoying, but he's all right. At least he's not wearing the frilly, Texas disco transvestite costume that he had on in the original one. But we put the original one on, and they looked at me like, obviously you were dropped on your head as a child, because there's nothing good about this at all. They were riffing, they were MST3King Voltron as I was watching it, and I was crying and proud of them at the same time.
Go ahead, Josh.
When you're a kid, what was good about Voltron? You've basically got awesome looking lions that make a giant robot dude with a frickin' sword. And you do have visually distinct characters. Beyond that, well, you're 8. I got nothing.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget that they also are fighting these very interesting looking robeasts that they, take on every week. They've got flying coffins that they transport them in. There's a lot of things as a kid to really like about it.
Giant drill nipples.
Right. I don't know why Hagar liked to always, if you watched enough of the early series, which I think I watched like 8 episodes. She liked it when she increased the size of the robeasts so they could take on Voltron. They always ended up with these giant nipple guns, which I didn't quite understand.
Is that like a cultural thing or something like that? Is like nipple guns a thing?
Like in Transor Z, the Aphrodite A had had the nipple missiles or whatever.
But no, I mean,
every time she fired them in the American version, they had to cut away because otherwise it would break standards and practices.
Mm-hmm. Now,
but go ahead.
I'm asking you guys this at all because did they talk really slow in this? I mean, did the voice actors in this show speak to you like you were a kid wearing a helmet?
It was weird because it was obvious. You ever been to like bad improv where they don't like quite know what to say? That's what all of their lines reminded me of.
Well, I'm thinking of the next word as I say this word.
I think they were trying to match up to the movement of the mouths somewhat. But
no, they weren't, because when they yelled Voltron, when they finally formed Voltron, their mouths were reciting limericks or something.
What was funny though is when you guys were talking about the whole, toy grab thing, it was clearly obvious that that's what they were after. Which, when you're 10 years old or 8 years old or however old when you watched it, that's not what you were seeing. But just if you could have a drinking game where you take a drink every time they say the word Voltron, and you'd be drunk in the first 10 minutes of the show.
Yeah, but the thing
not
Joel,
as a kid, you couldn't.
Also, this show was different from He-Man. There weren't Voltron toys developed before or alongside the show. They came after.
Yep.
It's one of the big exceptions to the early 80s where, there were toys, but the toys came from the show rather than the show coming from the toys, like He-Man, G.I. Joe, Transformers, like all the legends.
Well, and those were designed, to sell toys. I mean,
I wanted to clarify the difference.
Right.
Holy crap.
I mean, those literally, the toys were created like you said, simultaneously with the show. It was a big commercial, basically.
I looked up Voltron toys at, strangely enough, Sears right now for a mere $365 with a savings of $62. You can get a Voltron 1997 die-cast Defenders of the Universe Lionbot robot set that turns into Voltron.
Which
a whole assortment. It's crazy.
I wished I had a chance to take a picture, because I've got the full set of the car Voltron downstairs that they released. I've got the Black Lion, and then I've got my Voltron T-shirt on right now. But
so they actually have toys that are in the shapes of lions that you can actually combine into a big Voltron.
Yes.
Yes.
Back then, yeah. And they do now, too. I mean, now they've got a whole...
Because the whole
bunch
time I'm
of
watching it, I'm like, how the fuck do lions turn into a big robot? It doesn't even make sense.
See,
Well,
when I was
because-
a kid, I was so convinced this was a thing that I was designing plans. I wanted to make 5 go-karts that were going to be wooden lions that would transform into a big robot. And then I explained it to my dad, and I never got a go-kart.
But
I'm
it
going
did
to
for
say
the
this
lion.
once, son. I'm going to say this once. Stay off the drugs.
Yeah, it's like, clearly soapbox racing is not your forte.
You're out in the backyard. You explain that to him. He goes in the house like, well, time to return the go-kart.
He gives you all the raw material to build a go-kart. He comes out and says, look, a land speeder.
But he did give Josh a lion,
This kid is not for sports.
Yeah.
Nope.
which never transformed into anything.
But he was.
We're on fire!
Okay, here's one question out of many that I have.
Ooh.
How, when you break apart a giant, bigger than a planet robot with whatever amazing magic you have because you made it think you were a god and it came to you, how does that break into 5 lions?
I'll field
Explain
this
that
one.
to me.
I'll field. Whenever there's something like that you don't understand, a wizard did it.
And that's exactly what happened. Because remember the
Yeah, I know.
no.
That's what I said. She
Yeah.
tricked him into thinking, but like,
that she shook
5
into,
lions. I mean, that's,
and they
that's
just
so-
threw the word
that's
space in front of anything. Hey, it was a space
Space
goddess.
Explorers.
We're space
Oh my god, I
explorers.
got so tired of hearing Space Explorers.
And we
Until
need
suddenly
space.
They became Team Voltron, and then somehow everybody knew that they were called Voltron Force.
Blame
I
Japan.
I did note that like 10 seconds after they christened themselves the Voltron Force, King Zarkon was like, "We shall capture the Voltron Force."
And I was like,
Yeah.
how does he know that's what they're called?
Well, and that was the
This guy's
thing
got
about
a
it.
bug in there.
They're all
that was-
actually in the same room.
that was
There's one of those like Hyatt Regency little dividers in the room, separating both of them.
well, that was the thing about it is as you're watching it with adult eyes, you notice all those huge inconsistencies. And you're right, everybody was calling them Voltron Force from there on out. They were grave robbers, also, if you noticed, because they had to go to Princess Allura's father's grave
Just
to
take
get the
stuff he was
keys.
buried with. Yeah,
Yeah, but he
Right.
showed up. He was totally
He-
cool about it.
Yeah.
yeah. He gave the thumbs up on that. He's like, yeah,
Oh, yeah,
go ahead,
no, he
steal my
was
shit. I'm dead. I don't care.
Pillage my corpse. Do it slowly.
And it's kind of a bad idea if you've
Don't
got
forget
these
the raping part.
massive
What?
weapon grade lions that in order to make them work at all, you have to have this really jinky key.
Yeah, tiny
And
little
if you
key.
don't have the jinky key, no go, bud. Sorry.
Yeah, and I think almost what this shows more than anything is if you have awesome visual design, not necessarily top-notch animation, but awesome visual design, kids at a certain age almost don't care what you're saying at all.
No, they don't, because they watch the show and they run out in the backyard and they all fight about who doesn't be Pidge. That's
Well, who's the black lion was always the argument.
oh yeah, Black Lion. But the thing is, nobody wants to be Pidge.
I always wanted to be Hunk. I was always a chunky little fucker.
Well, and
All right, we'll call you Hunk all Gen Con.
And you're
note to
Pidge
self.
because you're from Texas and you probably
I
have
swear,
Flynn.
if you call me Pidge, I will walk out.
Well, and the other thing watching it with adult eyes is that you see so many giant inconsistencies and things that they did that makes it clearly obvious that they pieced together something that they had no idea what they were doing, because the colors of the lions change from scene to scene depending on and the pilots and things. It was
And
just,
they reuse the same animation over and over again.
Oh yeah,
and the dialogue, I mean, was just it was really atrocious.
It was. I got so annoyed with how how everything was just exposition. That was how they talked to each other.
Yep.
We have to find the 5 pieces to put Voltron back together. Yes, you've said that 6 times already. We know.
It's a tough job, so let's get on it.
Thank you, El. And then Pidge, well, you know, when the King Zarkon sent the force down there of guys to attack them while they're still on Altera, I forget the name. I'm all confused now. Pidge is like, I'm going to go out and take a look at things. And he runs out and he goes and
I'm going to go 6 miles away to check it out.
Right. He's trying to take on the entire force by himself, and no one has a problem with this.
Because they all hate Pidge.
They kind of hope he dies.
It's pretty much it right there. Should we go with him?
Come and save me, guys. I'm trapped.
Wait a second.
Somehow my plan of running into the middle of their army didn't work.
And when they've been captured and they're in the prison, why the hell can Pidge jump that high?
That was just his thing. He was a little guy. He jumps high. Hunk super strong. I'll give him a pass on that.
Okay, we're going to just let that
was
one.
His weird thing.
And the other thing is that spaceship that they were crashing in, as they're coming down, those are the worst escape pods I've ever seen in my life.
They just spin you and spin you and spin you until you just puke everywhere.
Yeah, and then Pidge falls off of his chair and manages to land on his feet.
Well, that was Pidge. They had to make Pidge cooler somehow, so he was kind of a acrobat.
Yeah.
But why, when you can jump all the way to the top of the parapets to check out the mice, and then why would you immediately just come back down? Like, I'm already up here. Screw you guys.
Now, did you guys make it to episode 6?
Yeah, I watched.
No.
Okay.
I watched, I think, 8 episodes of it.
Because once I hit 4, I'm like, I've seen Voltron, like Pat said earlier. 2 hours for me to get to Voltron.
6 was a key episode, especially in Beast King Go Lion, but they did the same story tuned down. One of the big things they did in the re-edit is they made it less violent. In the original episode 6, it was titled The Death of Shirogane the Hero. It's when Shiro, who is Sven, he's killed, and his lion has to be taken over by Princess Allura in her pink uniform. And in the show, that was deemed too violent, so he was just hurt really, really bad. But they still went 6 episodes with those space explorers turned Voltron Force cast, and then Sven gets taken out and is replaced for the rest of the series by the princess.
I think they did too many complaints that there wasn't a woman in the 5 of Voltron.
Well, you want to market to girls, so you've got to somehow incorporate a girl into that.
I was shocked that there wasn't one.
In the original series, though, that's a pretty bold thing, is to establish this team of heroes and 6 episodes in kill one of them off. It's probably why Sven's got such a big wiki article, is because his death impacted the team from that point forward.
I would like to know if George R.R. Martin is a Voltron fan.
Maybe.
That would explain some things.
Exactly what would that explain? I'm just curious.
The propensity for killing off your main characters.
So then would Pidge be like the Arya of the... No?
I'm going to the Red Wedding. It sounds like it'd be fun. And I will say, I completely forgot about him. I stepped into it expecting the princess to be piloting one of the tigers or one of the lions, and then when the second his voice opened up, both the girls. You remember Family Guy when Stewie does that head turn thing? That's exactly what happened in the living room. Sven spoke, and they both went, like, and they gave me that look like it. I had to admit, obviously,
it didn't even seem jarring to me, Sven's voice, because I was so concentrated on Pidge's voice. Pigeons.
Why? What's wrong with it, Pat? Come on.
Sounds like L with a cold.
Well, there were a few things that were cool. I mean, the lions, granted the overall quality of the animation was not great, but the lions looked pretty badass.
Oh, yeah.
And they each had their individual thing. They had this sort of vague elemental association. The red one shooting fire, the yellow one comes up from the sands, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Well,
the lion...
again,
oh, good.
I was going to say, and again, you've got the row beasts and you've got the coffin ships that take them around. And what kid doesn't want a giant coffin with a skull on it that has a monster inside?
Yep.
I just thought of like 3 of them that may not, but
in 1984.
No, 1984. Everybody wanted a flying skull coffin.
Exactly.
It was a thing.
It was like the wood paneled station wagon of its time.
Right.
Not at all.
But no, I mean the whole concept, Josh. I get what you're saying. The idea is, for an 8-year-old, is fantastic. You watch that show. You come out. You fight about who's got the black lion, who's got the red lion. You go out there and you play. You go out and you play that, and that's exactly what we did as kids at this age. You go out there and you emulate whatever it is you saw. But for as awesome as I remember it being,
It was hard to watch.
it was. And
Well, and I have a comment on that when we get to the new series, but
As I told you guys in the pre-game, almost at the pre-show,
the warm up.
I only saw 3 episodes. Never got to see Voltron, because every time I watched it, I would fall asleep in the middle of the show. So it took me forever to finish even those 3 episodes. So I was a little bit annoyed that I watched 3 bad episodes of a TV show and didn't even get to see the main character. Not happy.
I feel your pain.
I mean, I'm happy because I don't have to watch any more Voltron, but I'm not.
After he forms, you see the same thing over and over. So
Yeah.
Sometimes we do this and we go back and we're surprised by how good it is. We're afraid it wasn't going to hold up. And this just wasn't one of those times. It's like I was afraid this wasn't going to hold up, and it was even worse than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. No, it's I expected it to be bad. Because I'm like, I remember this being awesome, and over the years, your brain builds it up, and I was like, yeah, Voltron, it's awesome, the tigers, and to get together, and I'll be the head, and all that, and as it came on, little by little, my brain was like, in that first 10 minutes, was going, this is going to be a painful evening.
Well, and what fascinated me about it was, first of all, kind of thinking about the time in which it was created, but thinking about in terms of the people that created it, and did they really think it was good, or did they just think, let's get something on the air because the lions are cool and we know that kids will be interested in it? I mean, it just looking at it from
I think this falls under the category of throw something to the wall and see if it sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this was a blatant cash grab even at the time, because people that were serious about taking Japanese cartoons and transporting them to the U.S. did stuff right around the same time, like Robotech. And Robotech had spectacular writing.
Oh, yes. Robotech, I remember watching that. And
Well, let's not watch that. Let's watch this instead.
Shut up.
let's
Voltron.
Well, when they remake Robotech, dude, I am all over a Robotech show.
Oh, yeah. I'm with you on that one. I want some Min-May action.
Well, but it makes me wonder if I was to go back and watch, Tranzor Z, for example, that I mentioned earlier, or what was G-Force? I can't think of what they called it.
That Gotchaman.
Yeah, how would that look?
About the Gerbil Thief movie.
No, because it's
Did
basically
you just
the
say
same concept.
Gerbil Thief movie?
It
meant
was a
Spies.
Zach Galifianakis movie.
Oh, okay.
G-Force, it was the gerbils.
Yeah.
Guinea pigs.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, yeah,
that.
guinea pigs. That's
Guinea
right,
pigs.
not gerbils.
Yeah, talking guinea
sorry.
pigs.
Yep. Sorry.
But
I'm sorry to interrupt with that important little bit there.
Well, how would it hold up? Is it done exactly this poorly, or did they spend more time and energy on it? Because I remember those very fondly too. But
I feel like this had to be upper level suckage for the 80s.
Yeah, but it was carried entirely because it had such a huge fandom, and all of us remembered it being so great. I just remember, like, even in the 90s, you remember the first time as a grown-up you watched Knight Rider?
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I got the same vibe off this. It's like, I should not have returned. This door was best left closed in my memory where everything was awesome.
I should not have passed.
No, should have left this back there where it was still great.
Oh, I don't know. I had fun revisiting it, and it reminded me of being a kid in a lot of ways, and it made me appreciate what we're going to talk about here in a minute, and we'll get into more with that later. But before we get to that, I should mention that in 98 through 2000, why this lasted 2 years, I don't know. They tried bringing it back with Voltron, the Third Dimension. And they actually got a lot of the original cast. Tress McNally was in it. B.J. Ward, Neil Ross, Michael Bell all came back. They added Kevin Michael Richardson as Hunk, who is another very prolific voice actor. Tim Curry was Prince Lotor. And Billy West, best known as Fry on Futurama,
okay. Neat.
played Pidge, and he sounded just like Fry.
That's awesome.
But it was
I would be
like
so conflicted.
it was like horribly bad cutscenes from a video game that was made at probably about the same time, and it was an attempt at computer generated cartoon, and it just failed miserably. I had a hard
fans
time
hated it.
It was so bad.
Yeah, if you look at the animation from this, it all was just a little bit past flying toaster screensaver. Like, if you see like low budget late 90s CGI cutscenes from PC games, that's the show was entirely like that.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was basically just a modern update of the original series. I mean, they didn't change a whole lot. It wasn't like the later attempt at it before the new one, where they just completely changed the entire. I mean, it was the same mythos, but they went further into it and fast forwarded 10 years or whatever. This was straight out of the original series. And it was not good.
No, not good. Somehow even worse than the original.
Yeah, if you think 84 was bad, you should watch The Third Dimension.
I will not. No.
Good, because it's bad.
Yeah, that is not a thing you should do.
No.
Oh, speaking of things we should do. Was it?
Pizza
I'm not. Yeah, there you go. Hey, you want to take a break?
Ooh.
Sure. When we come back, we're going to talk about the new Netflix series, Voltron, Defender of the Galaxy, and we're going to get some awesome missing you jokes from Patrick.
Legendary Defender.
Everything that you listen to us for.
A legendary Defender.
Yes.
With less boots. Because Pat doesn't have boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and pants.
I thought Les Boots was like a guest star.
I thought it was Bootsy Collins' cousin.
I thought Les Boots was a country singer.
That's Transformers. We're talking about Voltron.
He doesn't make that noise?
I know he doesn't make that.
Doesn't make that noise.
No.
This is Voltron. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I was talking on Transformers.
Oh, boy. So before we hop into the modern show, let me just throw in one quick thought here about in 2011, and supposedly it doesn't have an end date, so I guess they're planning on making more at some point. They created a show called Voltron Force, which takes place about 5 or so years after the original series. Voltron has saved the universe, and they're having this big parade, and the lions all of a sudden start shooting randomly into the crowd. They don't hit the people, they hit the building. So some guy decommissions them. They become the different characters. One of them goes off and becomes a renegade. The other ones are teachers, and I don't know. Then there's this new class of kids that want to pilot the lions. They meet up with a couple of the guys, Pidge and Lance, and I forget the other one. And so basically it's like the next generation of Voltron, and it's done in that really crappy early like 2000 style animation, like where they're trying to be the Batman, the animated series, but in a bad way.
Really blocky type of thing.
Yeah, it's just not good. So if you're looking for more Voltron to watch, avoid that one as well.
If you're looking for more Voltron,
Force.
don't do that.
Yes. Make up your own pretend Voltron fan fiction, and it'll probably be way better.
Wait, can you make them out of wood and make them go-karts?
Yes.
I'll show my dad he was wrong.
As he shakes his fist in the air. Josh, not his dad.
Why would Josh's
Like
dad
this.
shake Josh, wait, no, I got confused about the fisting.
Now
thing.
I'm confused. Anyway,
All right,
so back to the
Who's
show.
fisting who in this scenario?
All right, let's get to talking about Voltron, Legendary Defender.
All right, so
Quickly.
2016, Voltron got re-released. Netflix and
DreamWorks Animation.
DreamWorks Animation, which immediately the animation is 1,000 times better than the previous. They also jumped in and got a lot better voice actors for this. So we have Kimberly Brooks doing the voice of Allura, the princess. Has done, God, you know her from, she plays Malachite and Jasper in Steven Universe. And lots of different voices from video games, such as she was in Fallout 4. She was one of the Brotherhood of Steel. Also plays voices in Ben 10 Omniverse, which I think is actually pretty good.
Not a bad show.
Yeah,
the
it's
Ben
actually
10
pretty
stuff
good.
is not bad.
But yeah, lots of voice acting type stuff. So, what's that?
And she is so perfectly cast in that role.
Oh yeah,
She sounds so perfect in that role.
And her partner in arms, Butler. What is he? Karan. What is he?
He's the only other Altean that's still alive.
Yeah, and he is voiced by
He
Rice
was a
Darby.
diplomat in the original.
That's true. Rice Darby was a favorite of everybody here on the show after we watched the X-Files episode of the
Legend of the Weremonster.
The Origin of the Weremonster. He is currently doing something called Killing Hasselhoff,
Nice.
which sounds pretty good.
Somebody had to do it.
Yeah, and but he is known for, he played Guy Mann in the Weremonster episode. He's also was in What We Do in the Shadows, which I still have not seen and I heard is amazing.
I want to see it so bad, I just haven't. Oh,
It's
not that
great.
I did not like it.
Well, Joel's wrong.
Yeah, well, that means I'm going to love it.
good. Everything I've seen of it looks really funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely a Flight of the Conchords meets like a reality show. Anyway, we're not talking about that.
We're not talking about that. But Keith Ferguson plays King L4, also known for additional voices, and did the voice of Han Solo in the Lego Movie. Lots of voices across the board. I mean, he's again goes everything to Robot Chicken. He did voicing on Mad, the TV series, Saints Row video games. He just Phineas and Ferb voices, which I love that show.
Great show.
Yeah. King Zarkon is Neil Kaplan. And he is known for...
Zarkon.
Yeah, Zarkon. Again, lots... I'm sorry. A lot of the secondary characters. He's not... He does a lot of video game additional voices. World of Warcraft, he did a bunch of voices in there. On Naruto, he did the voice of Marada Uchada. What?
That's a pretty popular anime.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think Murata's a big character. I never got into Naruto, but...
Yeah.
That's another great name, though.
Yeah, also did the voice of Gensuri Shingeki Yakamoto in Bleach, the TV series.
I've heard nothing but good things about that. It's on my list.
If you want to hear other things about it, we can talk about it sometime.
Yeah.
Off
I don't
the air? Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Shiro, the Black... I almost said Black Ranger.
The Black Panther.
The
Yes.
pilot of the Black Lion.
He is played by one Josh Keaton, who originally started out in General Hospital and has done voices of Hal Jordan in the Green Lantern TV series, and also
Any
played
relation to Michael?
Michael
No.
Keaton. Don't think so. No mention of it.
I was actually looking at it right
Yeah,
now.
he also does the voice of Dick Grayson from the Batman Arkham Origins video game. And the voice of young Hercules from Hercules. So there's a lot of great pedigree in these characters, including my favorite, Tyler Labine as Hunk.
Oh, yeah. Is he Tucker or Dale?
He is Dale in Tucker and Dale versus Evil. He also does voices in Monsters University. He was in a TV show called Reaper, and was also in Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and is currently in post-production of a movie called The Heyday of the Insensitive Bastards. Sounds like something we should go see as a group.
Yes.
But was also in Mulder and Scully Meet the Weremonster.
Oh.
Yeah, he was the guy from the very beginning when they're shooting the video.
Oh, okay.
And he also was in the movie called A Good Old-Fashioned Orgy, where he played McCrudden.
Yep, and that's a funny movie.
That is actually a really funny movie. So, but who do we got left? Jeremy Shada plays Lance. Old Jeremy is known for Team America World Police, where he played Jean-Francois. He also played Pug in Paranorman.
Oh, such a good movie.
Yeah, he's also the lead in Adventure Time, isn't he?
He does the voice of Finn.
Yeah.
Pat, have you seen Adventure Time?
No.
You need to get to 9 and watch Adventure Time.
You mean that's like a
Yeah,
rating?
anything below 9, I don't think you'd like it.
You must be this high to watch this show. Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much. And then also a throwback back to our Bat Month. Remember Batman the Brave and the Bold?
Yes.
Vaguely.
Yeah, he does the voice of Robin.
Na, 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 na.
Robin.
Thank you.
So, all right. So, yeah. So we've got a lot better.
I thought he was calling for his grandmother. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped to another page. We still have more voices. Cree Summer, who does Hagar, Rise of Ultron, has played the...
I know that name.
You do.
Most people will know her from a different world.
Most people
that's
also
it.
know her, ready for this, for doing the voice of Penny from Inspector Gadget.
Yep, the original.
Yeah. And she was also Winifred in A Different World.
Dr. Claw.
That was not the way her voice sounded, but that was last voice we have up, not last voice, Ben Bex Taylor Claus.
Is she related to Santa?
No.
Yes,
But
actually.
yeah, but
That's his stepdaughter. That's why it's hyphenated.
yeah, but she does the voice of Pidge, which makes complete sense. And then Stephen Yun does Keith from Walking Dead.
And if you watch to episode 6 of Voltron Legendary Defender, none other than Daryl Dixon also makes a cameo appearance. Speaking of The Walking Dead.
Who did he play?
Norman Reedus. He plays the one. There's the two people that they get the distress signal for, and their robot.
Okay. Is he so he's the guy of those two?
He's the guy of the two, right?
Okay, that's a cool episode.
Cool. Yeah, but like I was saying, much better voice actors in this one.
Yeah.
Across
Also,
the
the
board.
showrunners in this, you've got Lauren Montgomery and Joaquin Dos Santos, who are probably best known working together for Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra. But she was on Justice League: The New Frontier, Crisis on Two Earths. Did a lot of the DC stuff. They've both got like a DC animation pedigree, and then came into their own with the Avatar stuff.
Nice.
That's where I recognize the animation from. Legend of Korra is one of my favorite recent cartoons that's come out. It's so good, and this, I get it now. I hadn't realized that.
Yeah, those are the showrunners, and in fact, Lauren Montgomery was the storyboard artist for Legend of Korra.
Oh, nice.
Makes so much more sense
So
now.
the way I described this when I was talking about watching these to somebody else, and they said, you watch the original, and then you watch Voltron Legendary Defender. I was like, remember how awesome Voltron was? And he's like, yeah, man, I used to love Voltron. I'm like, well, don't watch it. Watch,
Because it's not that awesome.
it's not what you think it is. If you watch Legendary Defender, it will be everything you remember Voltron being.
See, and that was the point I made on Facebook also, separately of that, was that watching this and watching the original, it's like everything that I imagined in my head that was going on in the original when I was watching it at 10 years old was what I was seeing on the TV now in 2016.
Well,
It makes me wonder, like, in 2045, what are they going to look at this, currently, like, when they reboot Voltron again?
Oh my God, you have to use your eyes?
They'll have
This
actual,
isn't VR? Oh.
They'll have actual lion robots.
I don't think that they'll be looking at animation from this period and going, wow, this was total shit. They'll be looking at stuff like tweets or YouTube videos or even like mobile gaming.
Yeah.
Where those things are about now in development where cartoons were in the 80s, in terms of they're not totally new, but they've only had a few decades to develop.
Mm-hmm.
And you end up with a PewDiePie.
Right.
Yeah.
There was a couple bits of trivia there. I don't know if you wanted to mention those or not. That I threw in.
I don't.
Okay.
No.
Why don't you mention them, Joel?
No. Well, okay.
Yes,
Go ahead, Joel.
Yeah.
The designers looked at the Gundam mecha shows for influence on the Voltron design, which if you notice in this adaptation, he's a lot less boxy and a lot more rounded, smooth edges.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Gundam.
Oh,
It's
I'm sorry. I just had a little aneurysm there when you said that.
I was trying not to freak out on him, but if you want to explain.
Giant. Let's just leave it at giant robots.
Yeah. I mean, I can say that one of the most complicated models I've ever built was a Gundam, and it was a model that required no glue. Like, it was all a snap-together model, and it's still one of the most complex plastic models I've ever put together.
Oh, yeah. The Gundam models, those things are ridiculously...
All right. Let me
He's
Google
looking it
this
up.
shit.
Yeah. Look up Gundam, and then tell me if that's not something you would want to pilot.
Gundam style. Oh,
They're big Japanese robots. I probably only got into them because the models are so cool.
Yeah.
yeah. They're very, very cool designs.
This is way over the top.
Oh, shut up.
Well, he's like got blades coming out everywhere and shit. That's
Well,
Some
they
of them
mentioned-
do, yeah.
They mentioned Voltron Force being the first team that had 2 female members, and this being the second, which will.
Well, that's a pretty huge spoiler.
Yeah, but he hasn't seen the whole series, so he
You
doesn't know
son of a bitch.
what we're talking about. What?
No, but you just totally blew it for Mike.
I didn't say anything. I didn't give away anything.
I missed it. Damn it.
Exactly. Wasn't specific about anything.
No, but I'm pretty sure he could put together what we were talking about on the break. Which is why he just said, you son of a bitch.
Oh.
I didn't even hear what he said. I'm too busy looking at these Gundam images.
So, in a nice nod to the
So,
previous Voltron.
The only guy that was listening, the guy that doesn't even care, missed it.
In episode 6, when the castle finally takes off and becomes a ship, they actually quote the original series. When they used to form the robot, they would say, "Activate interlock, dynotherms connected, mega thrusters are go." Well, that's what Allura says when she's piloting the
I gotta admit it.
castle.
The activate interlock, like form arms and torso, form legs, and I'll form the head. I kind of missed that.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that they'd kept that. I know it's a little cheesy, but it's so iconic. It was the one thing I was like, cutting that may have been one of the very few missteps for the new series.
I do have to say is this show is a lot more aware of itself. The whole thing is so tongue in cheek sometimes.
The old cartoon, when it would form, they would actually like state like what they were doing, like put arms together or whatever.
Oh, yeah, that's a rule of anime, man. Whatever you're doing, you're narrating yourself.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Summon Bluster Sword now.
Yeah. See, that's one reason I don't like anime. I guess.
Well, this one they don't do that. So, but
and I liked it. I would not have appreciated it.
Well, and they're more. It's more about a psychic link to their particular lion because they're their paladin. That even for them to form, it's not a matter of them consciously trying to connect the pieces. It happens because magic.
Because it happens, man.
Well, it's more.
Like, you gotta just let it happen, man.
Exactly. That's exactly right, though.
If you force it, it ain't gonna happen.
That's very, very true. That's exactly right.
But again, a lot more humor in this one. Like they're actually trying to make you laugh. In this one versus
and there was some funny stuff in it. Like, I mean, Tank Tank?
Hunk
Was actually pretty funny.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean.
And they made Koran much funnier, obviously, because you kind of have to when you're using Rice Davies.
Darby, you mean?
No,
well, and
Davies.
Keith is hilarious.
Like, who the hell are you talking about? I'm so confused. I think
interplay between Lance and Keith, just overall character development is so much better from non-existent in the original series to actually pretty good over the episodes.
Yeah, because I mean, in the original series, it was like, we're a team because we're a team. Like, that's what it's like when you first start playing Dungeons and Dragons. Like, okay, you guys are in a bar together, and you decide you're going on a mission together. Okay, so we're a team because we're a team.
Yeah,
right.
We're a team because it advances the plot.
Yeah, there was
holy crap, is there an upgrade from Sven to Shiro?
Oh
I
yeah,
love Shiro.
Shiro is he's so badass in this one, especially when he finally discovers that he has a cybernetic arm and punches through one of the robots.
Oh yeah,
that was pretty badass.
Well, and the whole character design as well. The upgrade of the suits, the robot design, and then just their designs when they're not in uniform. I mean, just everything about it is just much more visually striking and interesting.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest complaint versus the old team is
Here we go.
There was not enough Swedish people.
What do you say? You need to watch the show a little more. The Swedes come in later. Why would you need Swedes when you got Tyler Labine? I'm a leg.
I know.
Love that.
Well, I was shaking pretty much the entire time and screaming my head off, so I think that's what did it.
Well, and then later on, where they realize that when they put their, what do they call it, the little weapons that they have that form into weapons when they.
Oh, I can't remember what they're called.
Yeah,
they're called something. Well, when in one of the later episodes, he realizes what his does in the Yellow Lion. And he's like, form thingy. And he puts it in the thing and turns it.
Well, Pat, later on, you haven't seen the next episode, though. When they're trying to figure out how to put Voltron back together, the interchange between the characters is like, okay, how about we just stack the lions on top of each other, and then they'll just become Voltron. And Tyler, the hunk, he stacks the yellow lion on top, and he's like, are you sure I'm not the head? Because I think I was the head last time. And then I think it's Lance is like, dude, you literally shouted out, I'm a leg.
I'm a leg.
Yeah, it's very well written. The characters are really well defined. And even though they're very much the same as they were in the original series in basic structure, they're completely different.
Well, they have the archetype. You've got the big dude. You've got the little dude.
The tech, tech person.
The tech person. You've got the ace pilot. You've got the leader. You've got the hot-headed guy, and they all have the like Lance is too cool for it, so he's got
that William Riker vibe to him.
Yeah.
He's also got a little bit of Eric from the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon.
He totally does. I was trying to figure out who he reminded me of.
Yeah, where he like wants to be a ladies' man, wants to be a jokester, and just like there's a little bit of cowardice and ineptitude holding him back.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's a bunch of bluster because he knows he's overcompensating.
There's some contention on the Voltron forums that Lance and Keith are piloting the opposite lions that they were in the original series. I'm like, really? Come on.
I don't know why they're bitching because they've shifted everybody except for Hunk and Pidge.
Right.
Yeah.
It makes more sense anyway with the lions and their personality types.
Right. And Shiro is a better leader than old mullet Keith was.
Yeah.
Which that's a great line. I'd recognize that mullet anywhere from the first episode.
Yeah. No, it's what I like about it is that it led in with a lot of humor. It led in with Hunk and Lance and Pidge all in that simulator. And you don't know they're in the simulator. And like, can you tell us what they did wrong? The navigator vomited into the gearbox.
I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner.
But no, I mean, the writing is great. The animation is miles better than the previous one. I wasn't expecting it to be I've watched there's some other Netflix animated stuff that I've watched that I have been like wasted my time on. Because believe it or not everything Netflix makes is solid gold. But this, I think the partnership with DreamWorks just worked out. I mean, I think they've got a good thing going here. This is really entertaining. It's fun to watch, and it calls back to all the things that we remember being cool about the original Voltron, including I don't know if there ever were, for as long as we watched it, that little tribe of little butthead things. When they're like
the Alforans.
Yeah, when we're going to dance the dance of apology. Oh, really? That's not necessary. Oh, she has rejected the dance of apology. Light the sacrificial pyre.
Well, and they stuck to a lot of the original character designs, because when I first saw the characters appear in the very first episode, I'm like, holy crap, they look almost identical to the original characters, just, done better. Luckily, Zarkon, they completely revamped his look.
They didn't just want to make him a blue Harvey Korman with a crown.
Right. The rest of them they left alone, though. Hagar and the one named his right-hand man, those designs actually stayed pretty much true to the original.
That is a great description.
But you're right, he did. Which, incidentally, he becomes good in Voltron Force. So, another reason not to watch it.
Oh,
wait, the main bad guy becomes good?
Yeah. Zarkon becomes a good guy.
How do you have any kind of a plot then?
Because they have a different bad
Where
guy.
they go around just doing charity work?
They have a different bad guy.
They do like fundraisers and walks and stuff.
Big sales.
Yeah.
A wizard did it. Established that.
So overall, the plot is basically the same. You've got the guys finding the lions, and Allura comes back and from being asleep and all that fun stuff. So that
10,000 years this time, though.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they explain the whatchamacallit. They explain the mice in this one.
Yeah, the mice aren't just weird, like cartoony
mice
with no explanations. Like, oh, they're space mice. They're my friends.
Yeah, because everything must be space.
They're in the cartoons. We have to write them in somehow. We can't keep cutting them out of every scene.
Well, I mean,
they made them part of it.
Yeah, and they kind of made it cool because it's like, oh, well, I guess it's because they were stuck inside my, sleep chamber for 10,000 years. We had a psychic bond. Okay, cool. Explained. Never bring it up again.
Yeah, mice are smarter than they need to be. That's all we need to know.
Yeah.
And for some reason, she had them in her sleep chamber.
And the Robies are pretty freaking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they are.
The tentacle one with 1,000 eyes. So cool and creepy.
I love that Robies. That was badass.
See what you got coming, Pat?
No, I don't.
Tentacle robeasts.
What do you mean, no, you don't? You're not going to watch it?
No.
Oh, you made it.
I mean, I liked it, but I didn't like it enough to watch the whole series or anything.
Well, I'll just say that the last episode of this first season, if you watch it, you will be tied in to watch the second season.
Yeah, I'm almost there. I almost finished the season. We'll probably finish it within the next couple days.
Yeah, I got to get in there, finish a little more myself.
Well, and do you guys notice that it's not heavy-handed, but there's also a lot of really positive messages and other things that are happening in the story that are not just there for the sake of moving the story forward. There's actually a purpose. Like the two people that they find stranded that, have a character arc, or the people that have been enslaved by Zarkon for the past however many thousand years, they don't know any better. And their kind of story and how it ends. I mean, everything with that is just, again, it's credit to the writers for turning it into something more than it was. Although I'd love to see them make toys.
Give it time. Give it time.
That's the only problem with Netflix is they're not big on marketing their stuff. Like, you can't buy their stuff on Blu-ray or DVD, it takes a long time, if ever. It's like they want you to subscribe and watch the stuff on their website or on your tablet or iPhone or whatever. So there's not a lot of that marketing out there, but hopefully, since DreamWorks is involved.
Oh, I'm sure. If DreamWorks is in there, they're probably like, wait a second, we got this.
And the reviews just so far have been universally positive.
Oh, yeah. So, Pat, for the amount that you saw, what do you think?
Like I said, I liked it. It was kind of entertaining, and it was definitely 100% better than the other one. But I don't have any feeling of compulsion to want to watch any more of it.
We'll take that.
We'll take it as a victory.
I'll say that's a thumbs up if I ever heard one.
Yay!
I didn't hate it. I mean, that's always a positive.
You went back to watch the final 6 minutes to actually see Voltron get formed.
And it was actually much cooler than I thought it would be.
All right, go team. We're on fire.
We know it's not the prisoner, Pat, but what is, right?
I didn't say it. I did not bring it up.
And I think Josh, Joel, and I, we're all thumbs up on this.
Yeah, overwhelmingly.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we watch a lot of stuff where there's a series involved, and I'll watch enough to get familiar with the show, but I'm not always real keen to watch the rest of it. This one, I intentionally made sure I saw all of it because I wanted to see it, but I was going to do it in pieces, and in this case, I had to kind of binge watch it, and it was worth it.
Nice.
Totally worth it.
All right. So, thumbs up on the Voltron Legendary Defender.
Wait, Joel?
Yo.
Is Voltron the wallpaper on your desktop?
No. I don't have any wallpaper on my desktop. I find that it makes it hard to see my various things that I have to try. Because I do all my shows and things on there, so I've got to be able to see where everything is. And it tends to make it hard to see. It's like camouflage. So, no. But
Okay, that throws up an interesting question. What's yours desktop, Pat?
What is my desktop right now?
Yeah, Pat, what is it?
It is a picture. You know those the guys that do the stone balancing?
Oh, yeah.
It's a picture of somebody in a stream of like 15 of those, like 5 or 6 of them stacked up at a time.
Neat.
Nerd.
Josh, what about you?
Overwatch.
Overwatch?
Yeah.
Very cool. Mine is the caffeinated owl chart.
What?
Ooh,
The caffeinated owl chart?
I don't know what that is. Is that? That's
I don't either.
I'll have to post it then.
I'll post what mine is.
Oh.
Yeah, mine is just black.
So what are we doing next week? Because we forgot to write it down, and I have absolutely no idea.
We're doing Cameron Diaz.
Movies.
Yeah.
3 thumbs up.
Whatever. Cameron Diaz. We're watching her movies, which actually then is going to be a little bit truncated than normal. Her career started in 1990 with The Mask.
Well, and we're going, I think for her early career, there's a lot of quality at the beginning rather than quantity. So it should be an interesting show.
Yeah.
So, and if you want to give us some input about Voltron or tell us about your favorite Cameron Diaz movie, you can always give us a call at 708-NOW-RAP. That's 708-669-9727.
Right. And if you'd like to get in touch with us online, you can email us. That's at 40go14@gmail.com. You can also message us on Facebook. Just look for 40 Going On 14 podcast. And we're on Twitter at 40go14.
That's still Transformers.
I was waiting for Shia LaBeouf at any moment. He never showed
I'll be
up.
the head?
That is the end of the show.
All right, guys. Looks like the show's over.
Sven, we're all missing you.
I'm not.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Like what you did there.
That's called a callback.
Yep. All right. Good night, folks.
Night.